Welcome, everybody, back to the Mid Podcast, where wrestling logic is optional, long term storytelling is appreciated, and Twitter or X takes are usually wrong, whatever you want to call it. And today, this episode is dedicated to two of my friends across the pond, one Reese and one Josiah. And the title of today's episode: Lose the Belt, Win the War. Why Shota Umino doesn't need the global championship anymore. So, we're going to talk about New Japan's brightest stars, Shota Umino, or as John Moxley probably calls him, Kid, stop getting yourself murdered. All right, here's the question. What if, think about this without being a fan, be analytical. Yes, that's what we're going with. All right. Losing the IWGP Global Championship is actually the best thing that could happen to Shota. Now, before everyone starts typing, "You're an idiot," relax, hear me out, let me debate my stance on this. Then you can come at me after I'm done. All right. Sometimes winning less means becoming much bigger. Let's just ask Naito, Okada, Omega. None of those legends become icons because they held secondary championships forever. They became legends because eventually they outgrew it. And I think that's exactly where Shota Umino is today. So I'm going to dive into why dropping the global title could actually launch him into the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship picture. All right, Reese Josiah, quit laughing. The global championship has done its job. Now let's be honest. It has become one of New Japan's most entertaining belts. It replaced the old United States Championship. It has become the workhorse title for wrestlers who can headline internationally. But eventually, every champion reaches a ceiling. Think about previous champions: David Finlay, Gabe Kidd. Each used the championship as a stepping stone instead of a final destination. That's exactly what the belt should do. It's wrestling graduate school? Let's not talk about graduate school. Not retirement. Shota winning the title showed fans he could carry championship matches, work under pressure, and represent the company internationally. He captured the championship at Dominion in a three-way match before successfully defending it against Pac at Forbidden Door. This further establishing himself as one of New Japan's emerging faces. Now, he's graduated. Yay! Now, keeping the title too long risks making him feel comfortable, when the story should be about ambition. Let's talk some history. Every ace has to chase the big one. Tanahashi didn't become the ace because he collected mid-card championships. Okada didn't become the Rainmaker because he defended the Intercontinental Belt. Naito's biggest story wasn't the never title. It was failing, coming back, and finally standing tall in the Tokyo Dome. That's New Japan storytelling: failure, growth, redemption. Shota's story should always revolve around becoming the next generation's leader, not the guy who had a really nice global title reign. Can you imagine Wrestle Kingdom's main event poster? Main event: Shota Umino defending the global championship? Yeah, exactly. Neither can New Japan. Well, one thing that makes Shota unique, and that he isn't just another young lion, he's connected to one John Moxley. That's both awesome and incredibly difficult, because every time Shota wrestles, fans compare him to Moxley. Every promo, every entrance, every leather jacket, every look. Eventually, he has to stop being Mox's student and he has to become Shota Umino. And the only way to do that is by chasing the company's biggest prize, not its second biggest prize. New Japan needs new main event stars. Let's be brutally honest. New Japan has experienced a changing of the guard over the last several years. Some legends have retired, others have slowed down. The company needs new, fresh headliners. Fortunately, they have them. In one, Shota Umino. And yes, they do have others, but I'm not going to name those because we're not talking about those. So, even if wrestling fans somehow turned that, into an endless debate over who the real future ace is, spoiler alert, the answer might be all of them. Different eras need multiple stars. Companies can't rely on one superhero forever. And if Shota remains stuck in the global division, the elevation of the new generation, it slows down. Losing can be better than winning. So, this is one thing I believe wrestling fans forget. Losses, hey, they can create stars. No, I'm serious. Stop laughing. Remember when Okada lost? Remember Nato's setbacks? Remember when fans rejected him? That rejection, became part of his legend. And sometimes dropping a title tells a better story than holding on to it. Imagine this scenario. Shota loses the global championship after an absolute war. Fans give him a standing ovation. Commentary says he's accomplished everything possible with this championship. Then he walks away. Not devastated, focused. A month later, he announces entry into the G1. Now we're talking. And the G1 is the perfect launch pad. And nothing screams, I'm ready for the World Championship like winning or making a huge deep run into the G1 climax. That's where New Japan stars are made. Imagine Shota defeating Gabe Kidd, whom he just lost to, a Zack Sabre Jr., maybe even finally defeating someone who's haunted him. Now fans aren't saying, oh, well, he's the global champion. They're now saying he might win the whole tournament. That's a much bigger conversation. Why fans should actually want him to lose, and this is where you're going to lose your minds. People think, well, if I like someone, they should never lose. Wrong. If your favorite wrestler never loses, then you have no story, no adversity, no comeback. There's just the Roman Reigns title reign. I'm kidding, mostly. Every great protagonist eventually falls. Batman loses, Rocky loses, even Luke Skywalker loses. Even John Cena occasionally remembered how to lose. Sometimes, very occasionally. The loss isn't the ending. It's maybe chapter 2. So, Shota Umino has all the tools. He has great matches, has great presence, excellent babyface fire, a compelling backstory, international appeal, natural charisma. Now it's time for the company to fully commit to Shota. The Global Championship has already accomplished what it needed to accomplish. It proved Shota belongs. Now, prove he belongs at the very top? Because here's the reality. The IWGP World Heavyweight Championship isn't just another belt. It's the identity of New Japan Pro Wrestling. If management truly believes Shota is one of the future pillars of the promotion, eventually they have to stop protecting him in the upper mid-card and trust him with the company's biggest responsibility. Sometimes the fastest way to move forward is to let go of what you're already holding. So, yes, I actually hope Shota loses, which he already did, the Global Championship. And it wasn't because he failed, it wasn't because he sucks, but it was because he's ready for something much bigger. And when that IWGP World Championship opportunity comes along, don't make fans wait forever. Strike while the momentum is hot. Because wrestling history has shown us one thing over and over and over and over. Did I mention over again? The future doesn't arrive by accident. You have to make it happen. So, let me know. Should Shota Umino move immediately into the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship picture? Do you agree with my stance? Should he continue building the prestige of the Global Championship and re-challenge Gabe Kidd? Let me know your thoughts. But until next time, keep watching wrestling, keep questioning the booking, and remember, just because someone loses a championship doesn't mean they lost the story. And you can also hear me on the weekly Steel Chair on Sundays on Lipsticks and Lariats with my co-host, Nikki from the bar. So check out two ladies discussing wrestling, having a good time. And until then, I will see you guys later.